الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Because our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the most noble person who ever walked the earth, the most elevated, the most honored, the most distinguished human being who ever came into this world. Our relationship with him, our understanding of him is more important than our relationship or understanding of any other human being. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduced him to the world through all of the prophets. And the example of this is like if a king or a president or a prime minister is coming, then they don't just show up somewhere. It's announced well in advance that they're going to be visiting such and such place. And they'll start sending delegations. One ambassador will come, a minister will come, and they'll go and talk to the people of that country that, do you know that our leader is coming to visit? What preparations have you made? What discussions would you like to have with him? What concerns do you have? Then another messenger comes, then another messenger comes, and messages are circulated over and over and over again. And the momentum is built up until everyone is filled with suspense. They're a little nervous, they're looking forward to it. And then the person arrives and they are given this grand introduction. The same thing happened with our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Every Nabi that came into the world told their people about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is amazing because that Nabi knew that they would not see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this worldly life. They would not see his ummah, but they were told, they were instructed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give this message. I'll give you a small example from the tafsir of Ibn Kathir under this ayah of Surah Al-Ahzab. يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. Under this verse, Ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentions a very lengthy narration. This narration is about a prophet of Bani Israel whose name was Sha'ya. In English, he is known as Isaiah. So Sha'ya alayhi salam was a Nabi after Dawood alayhi salam in Bani Israel. And this was around the time, you can say, just before the time when Bani Israel got expelled from Bayt al-Maqdis in the era of Bukht al-Nasr, Nebuchadnezzar. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed Sha'ya alayhi salam to gather the people at various occasions, and he sent revelation, and he was known as a very compassionate, very kind, gentle warner. He loved to give advices. In fact, his advices are mentioned in many scriptures. So one of the things that Allah revealed to him at a time when Bani Israel was in chaos, the detailed revelation about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I am going to send a man who is unlettered, and he will be from a people who are also unlettered. I'm going to send him to warn and to give glad tidings. But he will neither be rude nor rough, nor will he be the kind of person to walk around in marketplaces talking out loud, yelling to other people. أبعث أميا من الأميين أبعثه ليس بفض ولا غليظ ولا صخاب في الأسواق. His demeanor will be such that, you know how if there's a flame, there's a candle, and you walk by it, it'll flicker. And if the lamp or the flame is weak, if you walk by, your movement will create enough air that it might even just blow out the candle. Similarly, when you walk on dry twigs, so now it's autumn, so you'll see a lot of dead twigs out there wherever you go, in any park, in any area. They'll just dry, they'll snap, and they'll crackle under your feet. Now look at this description of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. لو يمر إلى جنب سراج لم يطفئه من سكينته ولو يمشي على القصب لم يسمع من تحت قدمه. If he were to walk by a lantern, it would not flicker. His movements would be so calm, so serene. And if he were to walk on dry twigs, they would not crackle under his feet. That's how gentle his step will be. Allahu Akbar. Then he says that this Prophet is not going to speak abusive words, rough words, vulgar words. No. لا يقول الخنا. You will never hear a word of indecency from him. Cannot utter anything indecent. Look, the description is very detailed. Even if I started narrating this whole riwayah to you word for word, I probably would only get through maybe half of it in the next few minutes. It's a very lengthy riwayah. But what it is doing is it's highlighting the features, the characteristics. It's not just praising him, it's introducing him in the most beautiful way possible. Allahu Akbar. وأجعل السكينة لباسه والبر شعاره والتقوى ضميره والحكمة منطقه والصدق والوفاء طبيعته والعفو والمعروف خلقه والعدل سيرته والحق شريعته والهدى إمامه وأحمد اسمه. He will be cloaked in a dress of sakina, of tranquility, and dutifulness, being dutiful, which means fulfilling your duties and going beyond your duties, caring, being responsible. This will be his outstanding characteristic. And his nature will be a nature of piety. His words will be wisdom. And his temperament will be to always be honest and always fulfill his obligations, his pledges, his word. And his akhlaq, his character, generally speaking, will be a character of forgiveness, softness, forgiveness. And his sharia, or his life first, his life is going to be a story of fairness and justice. His deen, his sharia is going to be the truth, and it will be representative of what is the truth in this world. And he will be guided by guidance itself. And his name will be Ahmad, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah will guide him after people are astray. He will elevate them after people have fallen. He will make those people known that he was sent to, even though no one in the world knew them. He will remove their ignorance, remove their poverty, and replace it with wealth. And through this Prophet, he will extract and save nations upon nations from their own doom and destruction. This is an introduction to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that's being given even before Isa alayhi salam has been sent. Even Isa alayhi salam has not come into the world, but who is being introduced here? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Daniel alayhi salam, you've heard of Daniel alayhi salam, I'm sure. After Bayt al-Maqdis was sacked and many people were taken as a prisoner, he was one of the prisoners. And some narrations mention that they had him thrown in a well. Some narrations mention that they had him put into this pit with 2 lions. There are many different narrations. Good, solid narration, not make-believe. king saw a dream. He needed an interpretation for the dream. He asked his people, I've seen a dream, I need an interpretation. They said, okay, tell us what you saw. He said, no, I'm not going to tell you. You have to figure out what I saw. They're like, what is that? How is that going to work? You don't tell us the dream, you want us to interpret it. He said, no, if you really know, if you really have the knowledge that I'm looking for, you will know what I have seen and you will know what it means as well. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed Daniel alayhi salam while he was in prison. So the prison guard was very nice with him, very good with him. He said, look, your king has seen a dream and he is looking for the interpretation and I know the interpretation, just let him know. And so after exhausting all his resources, Nebuchadnezzar finally, he asked for Daniel alayhi salam and he had him brought. And Daniel alayhi salam told him, yes, you've seen this dream and this is what it means. And in that dream also he said, look, there's an ummah coming after. And there's a prophet coming after who will be unstoppable. That's what your dream is telling you. That today you might have power over Bani Israel, but after them, sometime after them, there will be an ummah that will come and a prophet will come. People like you will have no power over him. This is a grand introduction, an introduction that is lasting centuries, in fact millennia. The introduction to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is going on for thousands of years before he finally comes into this world. How important it is for us to get more familiar. We all study something about him in school, in Islamic studies. We hear things, there are certain things that we're required to learn. We give tests on this aspect of seerah, what happened in this phase of seerah, what happened. But really developing a personal connection with him. Not a collective, like as a class we're studying, but as a person, how close am I to him? Just like every child looks at their own relationship with their parents. I'm very close to my mom, I'm very close to my dad. I know how to approach my mom on certain things and how to approach my dad on certain things. Everyone has a personal relationship, their own defined relationship with each of their parents. No one says, yeah, we're kids, we have these parents, we love our parents, that's great. Everyone has their own relationship. The Prophet ﷺ said, I am like your father, I teach you. So to have our own personal relationship with Nabi ﷺ, this is our duty and responsibility. And inshallah, over the coming days and weeks, we will go a little bit deeper to try to get really intimately familiar with our Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he came from, who his forefathers were, how he came into this world, step by step what happened in his life. We'll try to cover as much of it as we possibly can. So make the intention now to listen attentively, and whatever we hear that has a lesson in it for us, inshallah we'll try to implement it. And most importantly, we will use this as a platform, as a session to get closer to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in.